Welcome. This is Week in Review, a weekly program where we bring to you major stories that made the headlines in the week. I'm your host, Princess Ken Ochoma. In this week, we had stories that were top on the news that I'll be bringing to your very doorstep. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It was an exciting week for us here at the station because in less than 2 years after we commenced 24 hours of broadcast on YouTube and other social media platforms, and barely 6 months after we launched into satellite TV platform, Signature TV has continued to make waves with its quality broadcasts. This earned us recognition from the Progressive Women Group Enugu State, which conferred on the station the Best Media of the Year award because of its people-oriented content. Correspondent Precious Chagor was at the event held in Enugu.
What was meant to be just the inauguration of Progressive Women Group Enugu State turned into a carnival and celebration as the venue was electrified with songs and dances reflecting their excitement at the turn of events. Among the events of the day was the formal inauguration of the group, not by a lawyer or judge, but through a special prayer and royal blessing conducted by a revered traditional ruler, Ipe Professor V.C. Ona of Edobala in Nsukka local government area of Enugu State. Then came the conferment of awards on some distinguished individuals, including Vin Martin Obiora Ilu, President and Chief Executive Officer of Signature TV, for the impact being made by the station within a short period of its existence. Ilo, who was represented by the Director of Quality Control at the station, Augustine Onunkwo, expressed appreciation to the group for the gesture.
On behalf of my principal, I assure you that in whatever way we have to disseminate the messages we have, we will continue to do that, and we shall do that faithfully. Once again, I thank you and wish you good luck in all your endeavors. Thank you.
Convener and leader of the group, Dr. Mrs. Obi Aji, said the organization, which brings together women from diverse backgrounds, including politics, business, clergy, and agriculture, is committed to the empowerment of women and promotion of good governance.
Progressive Group for Good Governance is an association, a pressure group of women across the 17 local governments of Enugu State. We gathered ourselves to discuss women affairs, even men affairs, children affairs in our respective communities. And we came up with the idea that we are going to stand for she for she, women empowerment. All our local governments, this progressive group will trickle down to the communities, irrespective of the numbers of the communities in all our local governments. We've been meeting, we've been discussing. We have so many plans, so many agendas that we want to offer to Enugu State. We've gathered to join hands to make Enugu State move forward in the name of Jesus.
A commissioner in the Local Government Service Commission, Enugu State, Amaka Nweke, urged the women to work as a united front in order to achieve something meaningful. Mrs. Nweke, who was one of the award recipients, urged citizens of the state who have not obtained their voter cards to do so, while those who have issues with theirs should get them updated as an instrument for enthroning good governance.
This is just the beginning of the good things to come to Progressive Women Group. We are going to do greater things together. We are going to work together in unity of purpose to achieve our aim at the state level, at the national level, at the global level. As we are gathered here, it's an opportunity and a call for all of us to pick our voters card. I'm an advocate for voters card registration, voters registration. So anywhere I have the opportunity of handling mic, I call on everyone to get his or her voters card.
The member for Ibreze North constituency in the Enugu State House of Assembly, Clifford Obe, noted that most of the programs and projects being executed by the Enugu State government are targeted at women and children.
So when you come close to her, you understand how someone can be positive, how someone can run away from being negative. That she is talking about woman standing for woman today, or woman supporting woman today, does not mean you have to be challenging in nature. It doesn't mean that you have to react even when you are not supposed to react, especially in your families. It means you need to be objective. It means you need to contribute positively in your homes. It means you need to be attentive, you need to listen more. Because what makes a home build, what makes a home grow positively is because one person listens before reacting.
The Chief Whip of the Enugu State House of Assembly, Ejike Eze, also listed some legacy projects being executed by the Governor Ba administration in the state, including a 5-star hotel near the International Conference Center, Enugu, and an asphalt plant in the state. Some women bared their minds on the significance of the event.
Today I'm very excited that the inauguration was successful. We saw many dignitaries and we are happy. We thank God for today.
The thing we go make woman achieve, he say, if he bring money, he go give the woman. If they bring the clothes, then he go give that woman, and we go support them. Person wey got something go support them. Say make he go. No let na that thing now we want. School, he say he go put pikin for school. Everything wey they had for pikin, he go give them. The person wey no get to, his husband don't die, he go help her. Now we want, and we clap for him. Say make he they do and go. God will follow him in the name of Jesus.
This group is basically to impact life. They go about into communities to impact life, regardless of who you are, regardless of your profession, regardless of party affiliation.
The colorful ceremony, which brought together women from different walks of life, ended on a celebratory note, highlighting the group's commitment to women's empowerment and good governance, and honoring Signature TV for its contribution to people-centered broadcasting. In Enugu, Precious Chagoro, Signature TV News.
Nigeria joined the rest of the world to mark World Teachers' Day, celebrated every year on October 5th to honor educators for their invaluable contributions to society. In this report, Christopher Lele took a look at the teaching profession and the men and women whose rewards, as the saying goes, are in heaven.
Since its inception in 1994, World Teachers' Day has been celebrated every year on October 5th, with the aim of raising awareness on the vital role teachers play in providing quality and inclusive education worldwide. The World Teachers' Day not only celebrates their achievements, but also highlights the problems teachers encounter and the frameworks necessary to support the profession. The theme for this year is Recasting Teaching as a Collaborative Profession. The theme emphasizes the need for a shift away from perceiving teaching as an individual activity towards embracing collaboration as an integral part of the profession.
Collaboration with the teachers will help the education, teaching and learning go well. So we call teachers meeting. If there's a problem I noticed or a problem on the way, I will call the teachers. We enter into dialogue, discuss on how to move forward.
Some teachers who shared the motivating factors that made them choose the teaching profession said passion was one of their major attractions.
Oh, I don't regret anything being a teacher, because no matter they are not taking care of the teachers in Nigeria, but for me, I have a passion for teaching. It's like the teaching is inborn in me. I love teaching because the blessings of children unto us is more than whatever the government think they can pay us. God bless you. We the children used to tell us it is having an impact in our life. I'm very happy to be a teacher. I'm an inborn teacher. Even if I'm not in teaching, any place I see people, I continue teaching. So I like anything teaching.
A head teacher in one of the schools observed that unlike other professions, teachers are not well appreciated.
I think they are not, because if we should say teachers must be the first to be appreciated. A doctor will go to work and leave the child for a teacher. A trader will go to work and leave the child for a teacher. Teacher takes care of the people. They take care of the children, of everybody. We nurture children. We make children what they are. Even the president, he was once a child under a care of a teacher. So they should appreciate teachers more than any other profession in this world. Without a teacher, you won't have a doctor, you won't have an engineer, you won't have any profession. Every profession must go under a teacher.
Some pupils shared the career paths they aspire to pursue.
I want to be a nurse.
Why?
Because a nurse, like, if you travel outside country, you get more money than in this Nigeria.
I want to be a teacher because it's teacher that anything you want to be in life, if you not go to school, you cannot be like, you cannot, if you want to go to office now, if you want to work office work, it's through teacher.
I want to be a nurse in the future. Why I want to be a nurse in the future? Because they treat very well.
It is in this light that the chairman of the Enugu State Council of the Nigeria Union of Teachers, Theophilus Wike Odo, urged the governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, to implement the outstanding promotion of some primary and secondary school teachers in the state that is long overdue.
There are some outstanding promotions of primary and secondary school teachers. Promotions of last year, 2024, for secondary teachers has not been released. Then they are equally due for this year's promotion. Then for those in primary school, there is a outstanding promotion for this year.
Comrade Odo also appealed to the governor to exercise some patience with the teachers by training them on how to use the new technology to meet up the standard of the green smart schools.
The government has built what we call smart green schools in the state. And it's an innovation in education. It's a new term. And it is all about use of ICT, AI to teach our children. These teachers there in the field, I have demanded to them that these teachers should be trained so they can suit into the smart schools. They should not threaten our teachers with threats of retrenchment or dropping them. Rather, you have to train them. Who didn't grow up with the computer? Who didn't grow up with it? But it's an innovation and we are welcoming it. But they have to be patient with the teachers, train them so that they can key into it. I know if they are given the opportunities and trained properly, I know the teachers will be able to teach effectively.
The pride of a Nigerian classroom teacher lies in fulfilling the role of the noble profession, which is shaping the future of the pupils and students. This task is, however, apparently being hampered by challenges like low salaries, poor working conditions, and a lack of resources. This notwithstanding, many teachers still find pride in contributing to the development of the nation by educating and shaping future professionals and leaders. Happy Teachers' Day to those who have chosen to remain in the profession despite all odds.
Happy Teachers' Day!
In Enugu, Christopher Lele, Signature TV News.
In what was considered as an inspiring gathering of faith and purpose in Enugu, Mrs. Nkechi Nyeremba, wife of the state governor, met with Christian women from all denominations across the state. The event, which had its theme, Women as the Foundational Teachers of Our Time, sought to encourage women to embrace their God-given role in shaping the moral and spiritual foundations of the society. Signature TV correspondent Chinemere Mikebunam saw it all.
At the meeting of Christian women held in Enugu, women of various denominations gathered under one roof, united by faith, motherhood, and a shared vision for a better society. It was a day of reflection and renewal, one that reminded women of their divine assignments as builders of homes and shapers of destinies. With the theme, Women as the Foundational Teachers of Our Time, speakers and resource persons delivered thought-provoking messages, urging mothers to recognize their divine roles as the first teacher who shapes the values, morals, and faith of their children before the world takes over.
Before the creation, or even during the creation, God did not just create woman. God had a serious plan about women. We are told that God created woman by removing a rib from Adam. But I can tell you that that rib that was removed from Adam was a very powerful rib. Women are so powerful. We are so powerful. But we have come today to tell ourselves that we should not use the power that God has put in us on negative things. We should use it for good. Society, right? And the foundation is what you're laying for the society in the child. That is what we put in our child, in the family, as the smallest unit of the society, is what the child takes out to the society, right?
Participants described the meeting as both timely and inspiring, commending Mrs. Mba for creating a platform that strengthens the bond among Christian women and reawakens their sense of purpose.
She fears God, she loves God, she trusts God, and that's why we are here today. God bless you, ma'am, for this program. I pray that it will not end today. I enjoy every bit of teaching today. I pray that this continues. Hallelujah. PFN women will continue to support you. You know, PFN.
In her address, Mrs. Nkechi Nyeremba expressed delight at the turnout and emphasized that women remains the pillar of every home, describing them as multitaskers, caregivers, and teachers whose influence shapes the destiny of families and the nation. Mrs. Mba appreciated the representatives of Christian women across denominations for their unity and commitment, urging them to keep nurturing the next generation in love and righteousness while promoting peace across the state and the nation.
Your presence here is a proof of the unity and strength of faith that binds us all as one family under God. As Christian women, your role in shaping our society is vital. You are the first foundational teachers in society, laying the groundwork for values, morals, and faith in the hearts and minds of the younger generation. You are bearers of compassion, pillars of wisdom, and lights that guide the path for the families and communities.
With a call to rise as teachers, mentors, and lights in their communities, Christian women in Enugu let the gathering re-energize to keep the flame of virtue burning. From International Conference Center, Enugu, Chinemere Mikebunam, Signature TV News.
Authorities of the University of Nigeria suspended the compulsory 30,000 naira development fee that was imposed on the students of the Faculty of Medical Sciences. This followed after the protest embarked upon by the students at the Enugu campus of the university raised uproar. Correspondent Christopher Lely captured the protest by the students.
Students of the Faculty of Health Sciences and Technology, University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, are not in a good mood at the moment. Their grouse is with the authorities of the institution, who have decided to impose a compulsory 30,000 naira development levy on them. And to vent their anger, the students embarked on the protest, which they said will continue until the university management resents the decision. The visibly frustrated students of the college marched through the campus, holding placards and chanting solidarity songs. Many gathered in front of administrative buildings, demanding an explanation from school authorities over the new levy. Kelvin Tobechukwu, who said he is currently a benefactor of the NEL Fund scheme, said the imposition of the fee was frustrating to them and their parents, who are already passing through untold hardship.
This protest is about 30k health developmental fee imposed by the provost on College of Medicine. College of Medicine here is composed of BAMSA, which is Basic Medical Science. So then we have HESA, which is health, comprises of nursing, med lab, medical rehab. Then also medicine are paying for it, but people actually doing protest right now is BAMSA, which is the basic medical, comprising of physiology and anatomy. Then also the HESA, comprising of nursing sciences, med rehabilitation, medical lab science. I think that's the three of them. So we are the one protesting about the 30k because we are just, the thing have been going on with school authorities but didn't come out publicly. So a few weeks to exam, wasn't few, just anything, a week to the examination, which is supposed to be ongoing right now. They now try to enforce it on us, and tell us we must pay 30,000 or there's no exam. So currently our exams have been cancelled pending that we pay 30k. The 30,000, we did not receive any memo, we did not see anything.
The final year student, Austin Ikechukwu, said the exam he was supposed to sit for on that day was cancelled by the school authorities because of the development fee.
Right now, the one thing on the lips is for this levy to be cancelled, to be erased entirely. There was a directive given by the BVC for exams to go on without the levy being paid. But because of that, the exam started mysteriously getting cancelled instead. There was an exam that was supposed to happen today, but it was cancelled. And now the students they're protesting. They do not like the idea that they're staging this. They're trying to impose the 30,000 on us out of the blue. Especially with a lot of them, their financial status is not being as buoyant as needed for this kind of endeavor.
Another student emphasized that the students' leaders have had countless meetings with the school authorities, which have not yielded tangible results.
We pay school fees, we pay for basically, we pay class dues, governmental dues, faculty dues, like they want to use dues to kill us. And then they now came 30k, they called it developmental levy, called it exam levy. Like the money, they don't tell us what they want to use the money for. And that's just it. They have refused us to write our exams. So we are not, we know the B leaders, our SCG leaders, and some of them, they have had countless meetings, but none of them have yielded results. Like it's just Nigeria being Nigeria right now.
Reacting to the protests, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, Professor Josephat Onwumere, said that the fees have been suspended with immediate effect. Professor Onwumere, who spoke with Signature TV in a telephone interview, assured that all the examinations will go on seamlessly and that no student should be disturbed for any reason. Students nationwide have repeatedly called for greater transparency in how public institutions manage development funds and allocate charges. For many, the UNEC protest signals a growing frustration with what they describe as systemic financial exploitation within higher education. In Enugu, Christopher Lele, Signature TV News.
The journey toward food security in Nigeria appeared to be recording success as the Presidential Food Systems Coordinating Unit, PFSCU, continued to harvest hope caravan across the Federation. In Enugu State, stakeholders, policymakers, and private sector partners converged to transform national commitments into practical actions for sustainable agribusiness and food sufficiency. Signature TV correspondent Chinemere Mikebunam was at the flag-off in Enugu.
The Harvesting Hope Caravan is more than a road show. It's a nationwide movement bridging the gap between agricultural policy and practice. Established in June 2024, the Presidential Food System Coordinating Unit (PFSCU) coordinates Nigeria's food system reforms under the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Through collaborative engagement with states, the initiative seeks to empower local partnerships, strengthen agri-business capacity, and deliver solutions that respond directly to Nigeria's food and nutrition needs across the 6 geopolitical zones. Leading the delegation to Enugu was a representative of the Executive Secretary, Architect Sophia Uma, who officially flagged off a 2-day formal engagement and capacity building session on national agri-business policy mechanisms. According to her, the Harvesting Hope Caravan is about turning policy into tangible results, empowering farmers, investors, and state institutions with tools to make agriculture more profitable and sustainable.
Through partnership with Fula, farmers are insured against climate and market shocks for 4 seasons. Then we have the Harvesting Hope Caravan. Harvesting Hope Caravan is a nationwide rollout to bring NAPM, that's National Agribusiness Policy Mechanism, to practice. From policy to practice.
Supporting agencies including Leadway Assurance Company, Paul Foundation, and Co. pledged total collaboration with the Enugu State Government. Representative of Leadway Assurance commended Enugu's food system strategy, emphasizing that agricultural insurance should be seen not just as compensation, but as a strategic tool that builds farmer confidence, creates employment, and guarantees food security.
To ensure that they can go about their businesses seamlessly once they have their premium, once they have their coverage. In case of unforeseen circumstances, if anything should happen to their crops, be it based on the climate, be it based on pests, we will ensure that it's covered to the premium that they've insured.
The Commissioner for Agriculture and Agro-Industrialization, Patrick Ubru, noted that agriculture has taken center stage in Nigeria's economic recovery, while initiatives like Harvesting Hope, he said, are redefining how food systems are managed from policy desks to farmlands. He acknowledged the partnership between state government and the private sector, which he said aligns for impact, noting that the vision is to make agribusiness not just a livelihood, but a lasting legacy for food security and prosperity.
Is to gather data of our farmers, to identify who the real farmers are, to also identify their farm locations with their geo coordinates. And you know that there's no 2 farmlands that have the same geo coordinate. So obviously we know who the farmers are. You can't deceive the government because the governor is prepared to use technology to ensure that these things are right. We have the data of the farmer. Currently, we have in excess of 7,000 farmers with their geo coordinates registered in our database, and more data is being collected.
Enugu State Deputy Governor Ifeanyi Osai, who represented Governor Peter Mbah, said the state government is firmly committed to food security as a cornerstone for economic development.
But what is important is that we also develop a framework that ensures that there is sustainability, and that in the medium to long term, government intervention will win our intervention down as we move along, because we expect the business, which is agriculture, driven by private sector, driven by our people, to become self-sustaining, so that we can only intervene in the long term if there are issues that come up that naturally or could be beyond their control.
The event witnessed discussions on financing models, farmer inclusion, and public-private partnerships that will guarantee agricultural insurance and protect farmers from unexpected losses. In Enugu, Chinemere Mikebunam, Signature TV News.
World Post Day, celebrated every year on October 9th. The day highlighted the role of the postal system in daily life, global communication, and economic development. Correspondent Christopher Lele, who visited one of the post offices in Nigeria, gave us a report on the significance of the day.
This year marks the 151st anniversary of the Universal Postal Union, established in 1874 in Bern, Switzerland, which paved the way for modern international mail exchange. World Post Day is celebrated on October 9 every year, following a declaration by the Universal Postal Union Congress held in Tokyo, Japan in 1969. Since then, countries across the world participate annually in the celebrations. The theme for this year Post for People, Local Service, Global Reach spotlights the power of postal services to connect local communities with the world as a bridge between rural and urban areas and reinforces the post's role as a vital public service. Over 150 countries celebrate World Post Day with various activities, with some recognizing the day as a working holiday, keeping postal services operational while observing special events. Enugu State Postal Manager Dr. Chris Ashiedu shared some of the postal services that some people may not be aware of. Contrary to widely held notion, Dr. Ashiedu said the post offices enjoyed more patronage now than in the 80s and 90s.
You can get it through our parcel service, you can get it through our EMS service, like the Express. Now we have another service we call the financial service. It might surprise you that NIPOs do a similar thing like bank. Yes, we have. Now we do POS service. You can pay NEPA bill, you can pay electricity bill through our financial service. We have Express, we have registered. If you cannot afford our Express service, you do registration. Registration is cheaper. Postal service is more of commercial in nature now. It's no more a social service. At 80s, 70s, it was a social service where you do letter, just merely on letter writing. Yes, sir. But now it has gone commercial. That's why I see that it's more profitable and more viable at urban areas because of information.
He, however, complained about the challenges postal services face today and called on the government to intervene, as he believes that postal services will remain in business in the coming years.
One of the major challenges post office is serving right now is unnecessary competitors from illegal couriers. What actually NIPOs need is adequate funding. You can see our building now. It's adequate funding. The post office cannot die, like it can reinvent. I hope you understand what I mean. It won't die, but it can be reinvent.
The parcel delivery officer, Mrs. Elizabeth Ndubusi, explained some of the activities that she carries out on the counter.
I attend to customers, I deliver their parcels, incoming parcels from outside. So they normally come with their tracking numbers. So when they show us the tracking number, just as this register is showing now, we record their names and everything. But as in, whenever the item comes, we register it in this record. So from this record, whenever you come, we open the book, we now check if your own is here. So like the person that just left, his item has not come. So we are trying to trace if the actual place. So that is it. That's what we do. So sometimes the customer may not even know that they have item here. We call them on phone. We notify them. They now come and clear their parcels.
She also complained about the lack of some sophisticated equipment to help make her work seamlessly.
Apart from this paper that we are documenting, we use our phones, which is also electronic gadgets. We use our phone. Like tracking for that guy, we are using our phone. But adding to that, we still need more electronics like phones or computers to facilitate the whole inquiry.
A customer who came to pick a document from the post office shared his experience with the postal service.
I came to pick up a document that was sent to me from Belarus, but to date I've not gotten it. I did some reservations because the document sent to me in question I was supposed to use it and apply for visas. So after booking and making some reservations online, up till now, my documents has not been delivered to me. So it got me, it changed my mood though. So that was why I was like trying to know what the issue is.
A citizen who prefers to use other private logistics companies instead of the post office shares her reasons for the preference.
I don't use post office at all, but I use companies' vehicles. I prefer that one. But this post office mainly, I don't know what I heard. It's from people that are sent from outside or whatever. But me, I don't use it.
This day highlights the crucial role of postal services in connecting people, supporting international commerce, and ensuring secure information exchange. From handwritten letters to digital logistics, the postal system remains a vital link that bridges both distances and cultures, making World Post Day significant for communities, businesses, and governments around the globe. In Enugu, Christopher Lele, Signature TV News.
Cooking is a daily necessity for every household, since humans must eat to keep body and soul together. However, the choice of what to use in performing these tasks between charcoal and gas often depends on cost, convenience, and safety. Correspondent Ugono Walu went to town to report on the factors shaping these choices.
The choice between charcoal and gas for cooking is more than just a matter of personal preference.
I even prefer charcoal than firewood because it doesn't have any smoke, it doesn't stir my pots. So any quantity of food I wanted to cook, I will just use charcoal to be easier for me. So why I prefer charcoal is that sometimes gas, you may make a mistake. You burn to people's house, not only their house, even yourself, everything you have, gas will just damage it. And it's even cheaper. It's even cheaper than gas. It's even economized than using gas. I'm buying charcoal 200 naira. So whereas gas, before you purchase 1 kg of gas, it will be under 1,000 something. Recently, here, the gas plant there got fire. That day, Abapa was scatter.
Kingsley Ohaneje, a charcoal vendor who attributed the surge in demand for charcoal to the increasing cost of cooking gas, also explained the various types of charcoal.
There are 3 or more different types of charcoal. There is one you generate from coal, which every one of us know, and there is one that you generate through firewood. These ones now I'm selling is from firewood, and this one have 2 sets in it. We have light, we have iron. So this is iron wood. This iron wood is being gotten from Oba, Oji, and other strong woods that we have in our society. People have actually decided to move from the firewood, the wood, the local wood we used to source it from. They are now trying to bring what we call chemical mechanized form of charcoal. They will get the wood, few other things like the back of a palm kernel. They will burn it, grind it. Then initially they used to call it briquette. So they are now entering into that one. If that one comes to the market, I believe the demand will still be in the market. In a way of subsidizing the high rate of cost of gas, because gas, kerosene, all this medium of cooking food is relatively high. So then the demand for charcoal now started rising. So we now decided to venture into it to help ourselves and also others.
Some business owners are increasingly turning to cooking gas as their preferred fuel source, citing e-speed, smoke-free operation, and reduced stress as major advantages.
I use gas because gas is faster one. Faster in the sense that it comes on and the heat comes on with it as soon as you put it on. And it's neater in the sense that the utensils you are using while cooking with the gas doesn't stain.
If you want to cook, you can easily cook in gas. In gas, you can make use of it in breakfast. Maybe those of us that normally prepare students like children for their classes, we use gas.
Some charcoal users explain their reason for preferring charcoal over gas for cooking. According to them, some of the key reasons include affordability, tradition, and efficiency.
It depends. You know, this one is local food. So local food, you can use charcoal, you can use gas in local food. Buy in bag, that is 10,500. It lasts for me for 1 week. 1 week. But if it's gas, just 2-3 days.
Gas was before okay and manageable, but these days it's too much expensive. That's why I have to abandon it and go for charcoal. I can get a bag of charcoal at the rate of 7,000. It will take me for 2 to 3 months. Sometimes you go to filling station to purchase the gas. They will give you only air. The gas, if it will not, let me say, it will explode. That is the reason why I have to pack my gas and go back to charcoal, mostly for safety.
It is clear that the choice between charcoal and gas is more than just about personal preference. It is about the complex interplay of social, economic, and environmental factors that shape daily lives. In Enugu, Ugonne Owalu, Signature TV News.
Now to foreign news.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
France's new Prime Minister, Sébastien Lecornu, and his government resigned on Monday, hours after Lecornu announced his cabinet lineup, making it the shortest lived in modern French history, driving stocks and the euro sharply low. The swift resignation was unexpected and marked another major deepening of France's political crisis. It came after allies and foes alike threatened to topple the new government. Speaking after tendering his resignation, blamed the collapse ability of political parties to compromise. Lecornu was prime minister for only 27 days. His government lasted 14 hours.
This Monday morning, the conditions were no longer in place for me to carry out the duties of prime minister and allow the government to appear before the National Assembly tomorrow. The composition of the government was not smooth and awakened some partisan appetites, sometimes, quite legitimately, linked to the upcoming presidential election. It would take very little for it to work. I said it right here, we'll get there, and I want to say it again. In the confidential discussions I've had, it would take very little for us to succeed. By being more selfless, for many, and also by showing humility, perhaps even a bit of ego suppression at times. And I have tried, at least I hope I have, to do just that, and always keeping in mind the general interest and the substance. What matters is what we're going to do, with the humility to accept that some things can be done before the presidential election year of 2027. Other things will be addressed later, during the debate running up to the presidential election. And fundamentally, there are many red lines, coming from the mouths of many, at least some, not all, but there are rarely any green lines. Yet the very principle of building a compromise between political parties is to be able to combine green lines while respecting a number of red lines. But we cannot be at both extremes. Some opposition parties have understood this, and I want to thank them. Now, we must be able to move forward, or at least those who want to find a path for the country must be able to move forward.
Now, French people were not surprised at the resignation of Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu on Monday, hours after his cabinet's lineup was announced. Some people expressed their worries and disapproval over the deepening of France's political crisis, stemming from a fractured parliament and opposing parties unable to find common ground.
I expected it, because President Macron doesn't listen to anything, and it took him a month to appoint a government that is almost the same as the previous one. So we expected it. There's been no change.
I think that now we'll have to return to the votes of the French people. That is to say, we will have to either go through a dissolution of parliament, or perhaps even the resignation of the president, which was not ideal before because we did not want more instability. But today, given the situation in the National Assembly, the resignation of Sébastien Lecornu demonstrates the fact that we cannot continue like this and that. At some point, a new majority will have to emerge to be able to have a stable government and resolve the problems that France is experiencing today.
I will be 80 years old. I've never seen anything like this. It's every man for themselves. Everyone wants to have their own way. It's not normal. I'm almost ashamed, even, to be French.
Too much change. I mean, there's instability, it creates stress, it also generates anxiety among the public. So at some point, we're going to have to really sit down and think and reflect collectively, to be able to make the right decisions, simply speaking.
One has to listen to his supporters, but always think of the French people. Thank you all. Thank you.
unexpected resignation of Lekonu came after allies and foes alike threatened to topple the new government, with Lekonu saying that meant he could not do his job. Opposition parties now have immediately urged the president, Emmanuel Macron, to resign or call a snap parliamentary election, saying there was no other way out of the crisis, a view shared by many French people. Palestinians in Gaza's Khan Yunis rejoiced on Thursday after a ceasefire deal was reached under the first phase of U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to end a war in Gaza that has killed tens of thousands of people and reshaped the Middle East. Just a day after the second anniversary of Hamas militants' cross-border attack that triggered Israel's devastating assault on Gaza, indirect talks in Egypt yielded an agreement on the initial stage of Trump's 20-point framework to bring peace to the Palestinian enclave. Displaced Palestinian Mohammed Abu Amsha expressed her happiness about the deal reached, but was cautious with her excitement until she sees it through.
When they announced last night that there is a truce, a ceasefire, and a complete end to the war, thank God, our memories returned. We may return to Beit Hanan, God willing, and the war would end. We will return to our home, ancestors, places, and properties. We will see our loved ones and relatives. The war has separated people, each one in a direction, some in the north, some in the south, some in central Gaza. The suffering would end. The most important thing is for the suffering to end, as well as the hunger, poverty, and displacement we are experiencing. Every time we used to have hope, they would let us down. We would hope there will be a truce, and they would let us down. Until now, the joy is incomplete until the ceasefire, is fully implemented. We are happy there is a truce, ceasefire deal, but let it be an eternal truce, and may it be implemented safely. We are happy, thank God, but our happiness is incomplete with hope. Where is hope? Let it be implemented, and not just a media announcement, or for them to let us down in the last phase. I hope it will be seen through.
The source who had briefed the details of the agreement, Israeli hostages are hoped to be released as early as Saturday under the U.S. plan to end the war in Gaza, and the country's military would have completed the first part of a partial withdrawal from the enclave within 24 hours of the deal being signed. Around 1,200 people were killed and 251 were taken hostage back to Gaza, according to Israeli officials, with 20 of the 48 hostages still held, believed to be alive. Global outrage was mounted against Israel's assault. Multiple rights experts, scholars, and a UN inquiry had concluded that these assaults amount to genocide. However, Israel called its action self-defense after the 2023 Hamas attack. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres welcomed the agreement to secure a ceasefire and a hostage release in Gaza on Thursday and said the United States is ready to help. Officials on both sides confirmed that they had signed the deal following indirect talks in the Egyptian beach resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. The deal's announcement had been greeted with celebrations among Palestinians and Israelis alike.
An agreement to secure a ceasefire and hostage release in Gaza based on the proposal put forward by President Donald J. Trump. And I commend the diplomatic efforts of the United States, Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey in brokering the desperately needed breakthrough. We have all waited far too long for this moment. Now we must make it truly count. I urge all parties to fully abide by the terms of the agreement and to fully embrace the opportunities it presents. All hostages must be released in a dignified manner. A permanent ceasefire must be secured. The bloodshed must stop once and for all. And the United Nations will provide its full support. We and our partners are prepared to move now. We have the expertise, the distribution networks, the community relationships in place to act.
Israeli military spokesperson Defrin said that Hamas is no longer the militant group whose invasion of Israel triggered the 2-year war in Gaza, speaking at the start of a ceasefire with the Palestinian militant group.
Today at 12 o'clock noon, a ceasefire came into effect after 2 years of fighting in the Gaza Strip. With our forces positioned along the agreed deployment lines, the 72-hour period during which our hostages will be returned has begun. Last night, the government approved an agreement for the return of our 48 hostages. At this time, our forces under the Southern Command have positioned themselves along the agreed deployment lines, in accordance with the Yellow Line. These deployment lines allow for defense and forward operational control along the Gaza Strip. These are moments of heightened alert. IDF soldiers will act to eliminate any threat to their safety. No risks will be taken. I call upon the residents of Gaza, avoid entering areas under IDF control. Respect the agreement and ensure your safety. We are preparing to receive the returning hostages with sensitivity, responsibility, and great anticipation. At this moment, the entire IDF is preparing for the reception of the returnees. We continue to support the families of the hostages and remain in close contact with them. First, I want to say that Hamas today is not the Hamas of 2 years ago. Hamas has been defeated everywhere we fought them. We are in a completely different place now. The IDF is deployed deep inside the Gaza Strip. The yellow line you saw, which we presented earlier, is a line deep within Gaza territory. We are prepared to defend the citizens of the State of Israel everywhere and from anywhere. It must be said that part of the achievements we have gained so far are the conditions under which we are bringing our hostages back. We are ready. If things can be achieved through negotiation, so be it. If not, Israel is fully prepared to return to war, to fight Hamas, and to dismantle its governing capabilities as well. Hamas will not return to rule the Gaza Strip.
Thousands of displaced Palestinians began flocking towards their abandoned homes after the U.S. brokered ceasefire between Israel and Hamas took effect on Friday at midday, and Israeli troops began pulling back from parts of Gaza, and many are seen traveling on foot or on carts piled with their belongings. The agreement states that within 24 hours of the start of the ceasefire, which began at noon on Friday, the Israeli military would withdraw to agreed-upon lines in order to minimize friction with Gaza's civilian population.
Of course, this is an indescribable day, the happiest day of our lives. Today, the war has ended. We ask the negotiators to complete the negotiations in full and to arrange, for everyone, to return across the entire Gaza Strip, God willing. We are heading home, very happy, and very grateful to you. May God bless the Arab Republic of Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey for their good efforts, and special thanks as well to U.S. President Donald Trump.
By God, when they opened the road, I was so happy to go back to Gaza City. I was so excited that I didn't sleep all night as I waited for the news, so I would leave at night. What mattered is to get going and reach the place where I lived and grew up. My family is there. I've been waiting to see them and go to them.
I was sleeping in the street, no tent, nothing. I was getting by with the neighbor's help, half a tent from here and half a tent from there. Now, God willing, there's a truce, and God willing the war won't come back ever, ever. We don't want wars or any of this. We are a people who seek peace, we are lovers of peace. Now we just want to go back to our homes.
Hamas is now expected to release the 20 living Israeli hostages within the next 72 hours, after which Israel will release the 250 Palestinians serving long terms in Israeli prisons and 1,700 others detained in Gaza during the war. The redeployment line pulls the Israeli forces back from some of Gaza's major urban areas, but still leaves them in control of roughly half of the enclave's territory. Almost all of Gaza's 2.2 million populations were displaced by the war, which erupted in October 2023 after Hamas-led militants stormed into Israel and killed around 1,200 people and took 251 hostages. And that's it on the show for this week. From us at Signature TV, we are wishing a happy International Day to the girl child. Keep winning, keep living, keep shining. I am Princess Ken Ochoma. Thanks for watching and see you next week.